In part 5, we're going to be talking about data tracking and analysis. This section is going to cover which SEO data to track, why you should track it, and how to track it. So first of all, why track data? Well, if you're not tracking data, then you're guessing about what's working and what's not. All of the most essential data that you need to track your SEO performance is available for free from Google, so there's really no reason not to track it. So the tools that you use to track your data, the free ones from Google are Google Search Console, Google Analytics, and Google Ads. And these are the most important data tracking tools because they allow you to have a direct conversation with Google. And also, these tools are free to use. There are paid tools that are certainly useful. SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz are the three biggest ones and most popular. However, they are pretty expensive. If you have an agency doing SEO for you, they should definitely be using at least one of these tools to track your data, talking about SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz. Every serious agency that I'm aware of uses these tools. However, they are expensive. If you want a less expensive option, SE Ranking offers a lot of the same tools at a much lower price. And all of these programs that I just mentioned offer some limited tools for free. So those free tools are worth checking out. And there's links to all of those right here in the slides. Another tool that you can use if you have WordPress is the Google WordPress Site Kit, which allows you to view data from Google Search Console, Google Ads, and Google Analytics directly from your WordPress dashboard, which saves you from having to log into Google and ultimately just makes it more convenient and saves time to track your data. So which data to track? The two most important pieces of data to track are traffic and conversions. Traffic is the number of people visiting your site, and conversions are when someone contacts you from your website, whether it be by calling you, filling out a contact form, emailing you, contacting you in some other way. When a person contacts you, they become a lead, and this event is called a conversion. The idea is to get as much traffic and as many conversions as possible. So more key data to track. One of them is keyword ranking. So only the top 3 organic search results appear on the first page of Google. The rest of the first page of Google is ads. So the goal is to rank in the top 3 spots for any given keyword. If you're not in the top 3, then you're relegated to the second page of Google, which gets far, far less views than the first page. So your goal is always to rank in the top 3 for your keywords. And in competitive markets, that's oftentimes difficult to do, which is why you want to use long tail keywords and location keywords like we talked about earlier. If the people ranking in the top 3 for your keyword have thousands of pages of good SEO, then focusing on long tail keywords and location keywords is probably going to be a good competitive strategy for you. Other important data to track, your Google My Business profile metrics. So part of your data tracking process should include checking your Google My Business profile. Google will tell you, it'll help you track your page views, your calls, and your clicks coming in from your Google My Business profile. And this information is valuable for keeping a pulse on how good your SEO is doing. Another important data point is your backlinks. We've already talked about how important backlinks are, so how do you track them? There are a few tools you can use. The free one is Google Search Console. Google Search Console allows you to see your backlinks, and you can also use Backlinko, which is a good budget-friendly backlink checker. SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz also have backlink checking tools, and I also recommend, in addition to checking your backlinks, it's also good to track your competitors' backlinks. And to do that, you can use Backlinko, SEMrush, Ahrefs, or Moz. So more data to track. Session duration. This is the amount of time that people spend on your website during a single visit. So the more time people spend on your website per visit, the higher Google is going to rank your website, because Spending time on it indicates that your website is answering the questions that people are looking for. If people are clicking on your page and then leaving after 2 seconds, that indicates that your website is not answering people's questions, and therefore Google is going to rank it lower. The goal is to keep people on your page and keep them engaged. Pages per session is the number of pages a user visits on your website during a single session. So one important technique for keeping people on your website is make sure that your external links open in a new tab. If your external links open in the same tab, then Google counts that as people leaving your website, which you don't want. You want people staying on your website. So external links open in a new tab, internal links open in the same tab. And you're also going to count your clicks and impressions. The clicks is the number of times a user clicked on a link from Google to your site. And the impressions is the number of times that your page showed up in search results. So if you're getting a lot of impressions but not a lot of clicks, one thing that you can do to improve that is to improve your Google snippets, which we talked about in section 4. The Google snippet is the section that appears in search results below the title of the article. And you want to use this section to emphasize the value of your article and tell people why it's better than everyone else's. Do this well, and those impressions will start converting into more clicks. So we already talked about what a conversion is, and here's some examples. Submitting a contact form, sending an email, making a phone call, scheduling a consultation, or subscribing to your email list. So 2 good metrics for tracking the overall health and strength of your website are PageRank and domain authority. And both of these metrics measure the popularity, importance, and relevance of your website. So record these numbers before you start working on your SEO. Record these numbers before you hire someone to do your SEO, and track them to see how your SEO is doing. Track them to see how the person who's doing your SEO is doing. If someone works on your SEO for a year and these numbers have not improved significantly, then you may want to consider switching providers. So, interpreting the data. In general, you want to maximize traffic, time spent on the page, and conversion percentages. Now, one note here that maybe seems like common sense but actually isn't is dedicate more resources, meaning time and money, to what's working and adjust what's not. That means if something isn't working, don't try to fix it by throwing more money at it, because you're probably flushing money down the toilet. Invest more resources into what's working and tweak what's not. Once things that weren't working actually start to work, then you can start putting more money into them. But until things start to click, invest your money in things that are already clicking and make minimum investments into the things that you're experimenting with. This is ultimately going to save you from wasting money. A very important point here about data administration. Make sure that you always have administrative control over your website and your data, meaning that you have control over who can access it. This is a very important point because there are SEO providers out there who have written into their contract that they own your website and all of your data. So read your agreement carefully. If you're not the exclusive owner of your website and your data, then don't walk away from that provider, run. Find a different provider. Don't let people take advantage of you by stealing your website and your data. You should always own your website and all of your data. If not, then anytime you decide to switch providers, you have to start over again at ground zero, which means that you just lost the entire investment that you put into your website and SEO. Don't let that happen. Make sure you own your website and your data. Don't let people steal it from you. Read your client agreement. Make absolutely sure that you own your website. If your provider won't write that into the agreement, then find another provider, period. So specifically, you should have administrative control over your WordPress account, your Google My Business account, your Google Analytics account, Google Search Console, Google AdSense, and your web hosting accounts. These accounts contain your most valuable SEO data, and they're proprietary. So make sure that you own and control them, and will continue to own and control them if you terminate your service provider. If you decide to terminate your service provider, the first thing that you should do is revoke their access to your website and your data to prevent them from interfering with your website and your data in any way. So you should always have complete control over who has access to your website and data. Those are your property. Protect them just like you would protect your house or your car. Don't leave them unlocked for somebody to steal or damage.